Imagine just for a moment that you could change your entire life by dedicating only 1 hour a day. 1 hour. That's 60 minutes out of the 40 and 40 minutes you have every single day. And yet, so many people spend that hour scrolling on their phones, watching shows that add nothing to their future, or worrying about things they cannot control. What if I told you that the difference between the person you are now and the person you could become lies in how you choose to invest that 1 hour? Yes, your destiny can be shaped in 60 minutes if you make that hour intentional, if you make that hour count. Clarity is one of the most powerful forces in life, yet it is something many people overlook. We live in a world full of noise, distractions, and constant movement, and most people go through life reacting instead of acting. They wake up, follow routine, do what is expected, and wonder why their lives never change. The truth is, you cannot become what you do not clearly see. Without clarity, your mind is like a room filled with fog. You stumble, you hesitate, and every decision becomes heavy with doubt. Clarity is the light that cuts through that fog, the compass that guides you when the path seems uncertain. It is not something you stumble upon. It is something you intentionally create. 1 hour a day dedicated to reflection, planning, and mapping out your goals can give you the clarity that transforms confusion into confidence. Think about a student preparing for exams. If they do not sit down, review the syllabus, understand the topics, and make a plan, they will spend hours studying aimlessly. The hours may feel productive, but without a clear focus, their efforts are wasted. Yet a student who dedicates even 1 hour each day to clearly understand what they need to achieve, to break the material into manageable sections, to create a strategy for revision, suddenly sees a roadmap to success. Clarity turns what seemed impossible into a step-by-step plan. Life works the same way. Without seeing where you are going, you drift. With clarity, you move with purpose. Imagine a person trying to lose weight. Many start with the determination, but after weeks of random workouts and inconsistent eating, they become frustrated and give up. Why? Because they never clearly saw what they were aiming for. They never sat down and defined what success looked like. Clarity is not just knowing that you want to lose weight. It is seeing yourself in the future, understanding the steps to get there, knowing the habits that will sustain your success, and measuring your progress along the way. That hour a day to reflect on your habits, to write down your plan, and to visualize your future self becomes the foundation upon which transformation is built. Even in business, clarity makes the difference between stagnation and growth. An entrepreneur may have an idea for a product, but without a clear vision, a plan, and defined goals, their efforts scatter like seeds in the wind. They spend time reacting to problems instead of proactively creating solutions. But the business owner who takes an hour a day to reflect on their vision, to map out their next steps, and to assess the direction of their company, positions themselves to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Clarity aligns intention with action. It ensures that every choice, every decision, and every move is in harmony with the ultimate purpose. Clarity is also about self-awareness. Many people believe they are moving forward, but they are merely busy. A person may work 16 hours a day, jumping from task to task, yet achieve nothing of significance because they have no clear understanding of what matters most. Clarity demands that you pause, that you step back from the business and ask yourself the critical questions. What is my purpose? What am I aiming to create in my life? What does success look like for me, not for anyone else? This kind of self-reflection requires an hour of honesty every day, an hour to confront your fears, your doubts, and your distractions, and to realign with what truly matters. When you do this, your actions gain precision, your decisions gain confidence, and your life gains direction. Consider a musician practicing an instrument. Without clarity, they play aimlessly, repeating the same mistakes, hoping improvement will come by chance. But when they dedicate time to identify their weaknesses, to understand the pieces they want to master, and to structure their practice with intentionality, every note becomes meaningful, every hour becomes productive. Clarity transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Your life works the same way. The hour you dedicate to clarity ensures that your actions are no longer random, that your choices are no longer reactive, and that your journey moves forward with unstoppable momentum. Clarity also protects you from the influence of others. Many people live their lives based on what society, family, or peers expect of them. They follow the crowd, chasing goals that are not theirs, only to feel emptiness when they achieve them. Clarity allows you to see your path, separate from the noise, and pursue what is genuinely yours. It is in that quiet hour when you are alone with your thoughts that you recognize what truly matters to you. When you write down your goals, reflect on your dreams, and plan your path, you create a shield against confusion and distraction. Clarity gives you the power to say no to what does not serve you and yes to what aligns with your purpose. Every successful person, whether in business, sports, arts, or personal development, has one thing in common. They take time to see clearly. They pause, they plan, they visualize, and they act with intention. Clarity is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the difference between wandering through life aimlessly and moving with precision toward the life you were meant to live. That hour a day is your compass, your mirror, your roadmap. It allows you to step out of chaos and into confidence, from uncertainty to certainty, from fear to empowerment. The choices you make in that hour ripple through every area of your life, transforming ordinary days into extraordinary progress. Your mind is like a camera lens. If it is out of focus, everything is blurry. Clarity sharpens that lens. It reveals the possibilities, illuminates the obstacles, and highlights the steps to overcome them. 1 hour of reflection, 1 hour of planning, 1 hour dedicated to seeing your life clearly can awaken insights that will shape your destiny. When you embrace this hour, you will notice opportunities others miss, solutions where others see problems, and paths where others see walls. Clarity is power, and it begins with a choice, a decision to dedicate time to yourself, to your vision, and to the life you are capable of creating. Learning is one of the most underrated investments you can make in your life. Yet it is the foundation upon which all success is built. Many people spend their days reacting to circumstances, living on autopilot, and wondering why their lives remain the same. They complain about opportunities, about lack of resources, about their environment, but they rarely invest in the one thing that no one can take away from them, their mind. 1 hour a day dedicated to learning, to acquiring knowledge, to expanding your perspective is a commitment that compounds over time. It is like planting a seed that grows into a mighty tree, giving shade, fruit, and shelter for the rest of your life. Imagine if every day you spent just 1 hour learning something new. Perhaps you read a chapter of a book, or watch a seminar, or listen to someone whose ideas challenge you. It may seem small in the moment, almost insignificant, but the effect over months and years is staggering. 10 pages a day may seem nothing today, but in a year, that is 3, 6, and 50 pages of knowledge you have absorbed. Your mind becomes richer, sharper, stronger, and the way you think begins to change. Consider the story of a young man working in an office job he never dreamed of having. He spends his days pushing papers, answering emails, doing the same repetitive tasks, and feeling trapped. Every day during his lunch break, he decides to spend 30 minutes reading about entrepreneurship, about leadership, about how to grow a business, and 30 minutes listening to interviews of people who have achieved success in areas he dreams of. He is not seeing immediate results, but slowly his thinking begins to shift. He notices opportunities at work that others overlook. He begins to solve problems creatively. His confidence grows because he has knowledge that others do not possess. 1 year later, he is not the same person who walked into that office. His mind has expanded, his vision has widened, and doors begin to open because he dared to invest in learning when the world told him to be content with routine. Learning is not limited to formal education or textbooks. Life itself is the greatest teacher if you are willing to pay attention. Imagine a mother who dedicates an hour each day to learning about child development, nutrition, and psychology. She reads, she watches videos, she listens to podcasts. She applies what she learns in small ways every day. Over time, her children begin to thrive in ways she never imagined. Her home becomes a space of growth and encouragement, and she realizes that learning did not just change her. It changed everyone around her. Knowledge is transferable. When you elevate yourself, you elevate those around you. Even simple, everyday experiences can become a classroom if you approach them with intention. Consider someone who loves cooking. They spend 1 hour each day learning new techniques, experimenting with flavors, watching tutorials, and reading recipes from chefs around the world. In a year, their skills are so refined that they can create dishes that not only satisfy but inspire others. Learning is not just about acquiring information, it is about transformation. It is about turning ordinary moments into extraordinary mastery. 1 hour a day becomes a catalyst that stretches your abilities, sharpens your skills, and unlocks potential you never knew existed. Learning also develops critical thinking. In a world filled with noise, opinions, and distractions, those who think critically can navigate life with precision. Imagine someone who dedicates time every day to understanding history, current events, psychology, and personal development. Over time, their ability to analyze situations, to predict outcomes, and to make decisions with wisdom grows exponentially. They are no longer easily swayed by popular opinion or false promises. They become leaders in thought, not followers in action. The mind that is committed to learning becomes a fortress of insight, a tool that opens doors while others remain trapped behind walls of ignorance. Consider the athlete who dedicates 1 hour a day not only to physical training but to studying strategy, nutrition, and the psychology of winning. Their body becomes stronger, yes, but their mind becomes sharper. They learn to anticipate moves, to outthink opponents, to remain calm under pressure. Their performance is no longer determined solely by physical talent, but by the power of the knowledge they have accumulated. The same principle applies to every field of life. Learning multiplies talent, transforms effort into results, and separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Learning also builds resilience. When you commit to expanding your mind, you prepare yourself for challenges that others cannot face. Imagine someone who dedicates an hour a day to understanding financial literacy, investment, and entrepreneurship. The world throws crises, failures, and setbacks, but this person can navigate them with confidence because they have equipped themselves with knowledge. Their mind becomes a tool of problem solving, their decisions become informed, and their progress becomes inevitable. Knowledge gives power, and power is the ability to act, to adapt, and to thrive regardless of circumstances. Finally, learning shapes vision. It allows you to see beyond your current situation, to imagine possibilities, and to create strategies to reach them. Imagine a young woman who spends an hour each day learning about personal growth, leadership, and communication. Over time, her perspective shifts. She no longer sees limits, only opportunities. She begins to dream bigger, act bolder, and inspire those around her. Knowledge transforms doubt into confidence, fear into courage, and dreams into actionable plans. Myles Munroe often said, "The mind is the most valuable asset you will ever own." When you dedicate 1 hour a day to learning, you invest in the most valuable asset in the world. It is the one thing that cannot be stolen, cannot be taken, and cannot be destroyed. The knowledge you gain compounds, multiplies, and grows, creating a life of freedom, influence, and extraordinary possibilities. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life, yet most people treat it as if it is disposable, as if it will take care of itself without any effort. Many wake up tired, complain about fatigue, skip meals, sit for hours, and wonder why their energy is low, why their performance is limited, why they feel stuck in life. The truth is, your body is the foundation of everything you desire. If your body is weak, your mind cannot function at its highest level. If your energy is low, your dreams become distant. Health is not just about looking good or following a trend. It is about building the strength, stamina, and resilience to pursue your purpose without being held back by your own limitations. Imagine if you dedicated 1 hour every day to moving your body intentionally, to caring for it, to fueling it with proper nutrition, and to strengthening it with exercise. That hour is not a sacrifice. It is an investment in the most important asset you will ever own. Consider a young professional who spends 12 hours a day at a desk, juggling meetings, deadlines, and obligations. They complain about fatigue, about headaches, about lack of focus. They try to push through with coffee and energy drinks, but the cycle never ends. One day, they decide to take 1 hour each morning to walk, stretch, and do simple exercises. At first, it feels like a struggle. The body resists. The mind questions the time spent. But after a few weeks, something shifts. They wake up with energy, their thoughts become clearer, their focus sharper, and their productivity improves. The hour they invested in their health transforms their entire day. The body, once a burden, becomes an ally, a vehicle that propels them toward their goals. Think about athletes and performers. They understand that without a strong, conditioned body, talent alone is not enough. A basketball player spends hours dribbling, shooting, and running drills, not because it is fun, but because every ounce of energy in their body contributes to performance. A singer warms up their voice, stretches, and exercises, knowing that their body is the instrument through which expression flows. If you want to excel in any area of life, you must treat your body with the same intentionality. 1 hour a day dedicated to physical health is the difference between merely existing and thriving. It creates endurance, strength, and confidence that spills over into every other area of life. Even in simple daily examples, the impact to health is undeniable. Imagine a parent who spends the day chasing after young children. If their body is weak, tired, or stiff, every task becomes a struggle. The patience they need, the energy required to play, teach, and guide all diminish. But if they dedicate an hour each day to walking, stretching, or doing light strength exercises, suddenly they have stamina. They can run, lift, bend, and engage without complaint. The hour they invest in health becomes an hour that multiplies across all their responsibilities. It is not just physical, it is emotional and mental energy that fuels every interaction, every decision, and every relationship. Health is intimately tied to confidence. When you move, stretch, and exercise, you feel capable. The energy you gain from a single hour of focused physical care changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you approach challenges. Imagine someone who has been sedentary for years, lacking confidence in their appearance, in their abilities. They begin with 1 hour of walking and stretching each day. After weeks, they notice changes, strength in their muscles, clarity in their mind, a spark in their spirit. People around them begin to notice. Opportunities appear because they move differently, they act differently, they feel empowered. Health is not vanity, it is a vehicle for influence, for action, for transformation. Consider the story of a student who struggles with concentration and focus. Long hours of studying seem impossible because their body is sluggish and tired. 1 hour each day spent on movement, running, yoga, or even brisk walking changes everything. The blood flows, the mind clears, the body wakes up. Suddenly, studying is easier, retention improves, and energy becomes sustainable. Learning and growth are amplified when the body is cared for. Energy is the currency of achievement, and without it, even the best ideas and plans cannot reach fruition. Nutrition is also part of health, and 1 hour can make a difference here as well. Preparing a wholesome meal, learning what fuels your body, and being mindful of the energy you consume impacts not only physical strength but mental clarity. Imagine a professional who replaces one fast food meal a day with a nutritious, balanced meal and combines that with 30 minutes of walking or stretching. The results compound. Energy levels increase, mood improves, and motivation rises. The body begins to work in harmony with the mind instead of against it. The hour invested becomes a multiplier, creating resilience that cannot be bought or borrowed. Even small, consistent actions matter. Someone may think that running for 10 minutes, doing a few stretches, or a short yoga session is insignificant. Yet over time, those minutes add up. Consistency is the key. The body thrives on routine, and a single hour every day establishes a pattern of strength, energy, and resilience. 1 hour becomes the foundation for a life of stamina, where fatigue does not dictate action and limitations do not define possibilities. Health is also a reflection of respect for yourself. Dedicating time to care for your body is a declaration. I am worth the effort, I am worth the energy, I am worth the life I dream of. When you honor your body with movement, nutrition, and care, it honors you back. You move with purpose, you act with energy, and you show up fully in every area of your life. The hour you spend today creates days, months, and years of vitality that allows your dreams to be pursued without constraint. The body becomes not just a vehicle, but a partner, a loyal companion that carries you through the challenges and victories of life. Focus is one of the most powerful forces in life, yet it is one of the most ignored. The world around you is constantly pulling at your attention. Notifications beep, messages pile up, social media scrolls endlessly, and urgent demands clamor for your time. It is easy to drift from task to task, to allow your mind to be scattered, to feel busy without being productive. But business does not equal progress. It is focus that creates results. The world will try to scatter your attention, but 1 hour of focused effort, free of distractions, can achieve more than 8 hours of fragmented work. 1 hour of deliberate attention is more powerful than an entire day spent reacting to noise, because focus amplifies your energy, your intention, and your results. Consider a student studying for exams. They may sit at a desk for 8 hours, switching between subjects, checking their phone, taking random breaks, and feeling exhausted with little to show for it. Their effort is scattered and results are inconsistent. Now imagine the same student dedicating just 1 hour a day to a single subject, completely immersed, removing all distractions, and committing to understanding the material thoroughly. In that 1 hour, progress is deep and lasting. Comprehension is strengthened, confidence grows, and the momentum carries over to the next day. Focus turns small actions into mastery and mastery into achievement. Even in the workplace, focus determines success. Imagine an employee juggling emails, phone calls, meetings, and projects simultaneously. They feel busy, yet they struggle to complete meaningful work. Now imagine that employee blocks 1 hour each day to focus on the most important task, the project that drives results, the task that moves the needle. During that hour, they eliminate interruptions, silence notifications, and pour their energy into that single objective. The results are extraordinary. 1 hour of true focus creates momentum, momentum that propels other tasks forward, that sets standards for productivity, and that elevates performance beyond ordinary levels. Small, consistent actions, repeated with discipline, create monumental outcomes. Focus is also about protecting your mind. Consider a writer who wants to finish a book. Distractions surround them, social media, TV, emails, the noise of everyday life. Without focus, the book never progresses. But when the writer dedicates 1 hour each day to writing, with no interruptions, they make measurable progress. Words flow, ideas develop, and eventually the book is complete. Focus transforms ordinary minutes into extraordinary breakthroughs because concentrated energy produces results that scattered effort cannot achieve. 1 hour of intentional focus compounds, and before long, the writer looks back and realizes that what once seemed impossible is now accomplished. Even in personal life, focus creates transformation. Imagine someone saving for a major goal, like buying a house or starting a business. Without focus, money is spent on distractions, savings slip away, and progress stalls. But if that person dedicates 1 hour a day to budgeting, researching investments, and planning, the results multiply. The 1 hour becomes a leverage point, creating clarity, direction, and measurable steps toward the goal. Focus allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things because it transforms intention into action and action into results. Focus also builds mental strength and resilience. Life will always present interruptions, excuses, and obstacles. Someone who cannot focus becomes easily frustrated, overwhelmed, and stagnant. But those who practice focus learn discipline, patience, and the ability to prioritize what truly matters. Imagine a young entrepreneur starting a business from scratch. Distractions abound, competitors, social pressure, family doubts, and self-doubt. The entrepreneur who dedicates 1 hour each day to the most critical tasks, such as developing products, reaching customers, or creating systems, builds momentum that the world cannot interrupt. They achieve more in 1 hour of concentrated effort than others achieve in weeks of fragmented work. Focus is a skill, a habit, and a strategy that multiplies every action you take. Consider athletes and performers. A basketball player may spend hours on the court, but only the hour of focused practice perfects their shots. A musician may rehearse for hours, but 1 hour of deep, intentional focus improves technique, precision, and confidence. Ordinary effort produces ordinary results, but focused effort produces extraordinary outcomes. Focus is the bridge between potential and achievement. It is the lever that converts dreams into reality because it harnesses the power of the mind and directs it toward meaningful action. Focus also transforms time itself. 1 hour spent in distraction is wasted. 1 hour spent with purpose is transformational. The hour you dedicate to learning, creating, building, or planning compounds into weeks, months, and years of progress. Imagine someone dedicating 1 hour each day to writing a business plan, learning a skill, or practicing an art form. Over a year, that small daily commitment results in hundreds of hours of concentrated progress. The small, consistent actions multiply, producing momentum that propels the individual far ahead of those who scatter their energy across too many directions. Focus teaches you to value your time. It trains you to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, between noise and signal, between tasks that move you forward and those that keep you busy. The person who practices focus understands that every minute is an opportunity, and they guard that hour as a sacred investment. It is not about working harder, but about working smarter. It is not about doing more, but about doing what matters most. When you master focus, distractions lose power over you, and you begin to accomplish with precision, efficiency, and consistency. 1 hour of focus a day is not a suggestion. It is a commitment to yourself and your vision. It is a choice to rise above mediocrity, to refuse to drift, and to take control of your life. The power of focus multiplies, turning ordinary minutes into extraordinary breakthroughs, transforming small, consistent actions into monumental results, and equipping you to face challenges, seize opportunities, and achieve your purpose with clarity and confidence. Self-discipline is the hidden force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the muscle of the mind, the training ground for character, and the secret behind every success story you have ever admired. Yet, it is one of the most misunderstood qualities. Many people believe discipline is punishment, that it is about saying no to everything they enjoy, about living a life of restriction. But true discipline is freedom. It is the ability to control your impulses, to choose what serves your long-term vision over temporary satisfaction. It is the bridge between where you are now and the life you were meant to live. Imagine dedicating just 1 hour a day to the practice of self-discipline. It could be 1 hour spent writing, exercising, learning, planning, or creating. That single hour, repeated consistently, transforms not just your day, but your entire life. Consider a student who dreams of becoming a doctor. Everyday distractions surround them, friends inviting them out, social media scrolling, the temptation of laziness after a long day. The student knows what they must do to succeed, yet it is tempting to give in to comfort. They choose instead to dedicate 1 focused hour every evening to studying, reviewing notes, and preparing for exams. At first, the hour feels like a battle. The mind rebels. They want to rest, to postpone, to give up. But over weeks, the habit strengthens. The mind grows accustomed to prioritizing the important over the comfortable. The knowledge accumulates, the confidence builds. The student begins to see progress, and each day becomes easier to resist distractions. 1 hour of consistent self-discipline turns a dream into an achievable reality. Even in daily life, self-discipline shapes destiny. Imagine a young professional aiming to save money to start a business. Every day, the temptation to spend on luxuries, entertainment, or impulse purchases is strong. Yet, they commit 1 hour each evening to review finances, budget carefully, and plan investments. At first, it seems small, almost insignificant. 1 hour out of 24 may not seem like much, but it changes the pattern of decision-making. With each passing day, self-discipline strengthens. They resist impulsive spending. They develop habits of thoughtful choices. The discipline they cultivate in managing money becomes a habit that extends to other areas: time management, personal growth, and goal achievement. They become the master of their choices rather than a slave to momentary desires. Self-discipline also teaches patience and perseverance. Many people want success overnight. They want results without effort, without consistency. They believe talent alone will carry them, or luck will deliver them to their dreams. But life rewards those who show up day after day and dedicate themselves to the process even when results are not immediate. Imagine an artist practicing painting. At first, their work is rough, their lines uncertain, their colors mismatched. Each day, they dedicate 1 hour to practice, to experiment, to improve. They resist the desire to skip practice when they feel tired or uninspired. Over time, skill grows, technique improves, and masterpieces begin to emerge. Discipline turns raw effort into refined talent, and talent into achievement. Consider the example of health and fitness. Many people dream of being strong, energetic, or fit, yet they give in to the temptation of rest, comfort, or unhealthy habits. 1 hour of consistent exercise every day may seem small, yet it transforms the body and the mind. The individual begins to feel stronger, more confident, and more capable. The habit of discipline spills over into other areas of life. They approach challenges with persistence, resist temptations, and make choices that align with their long-term vision. The discipline practiced in one area strengthens character universally, because self-discipline is a transferable skill that governs every action, thought, and decision. Self-discipline also nurtures focus. When you train your mind to resist distractions, you learn to channel your energy toward what matters most. Imagine a writer aiming to complete a book. Distractions are constant. Phone notifications, social media, the noise of life. Yet, the writer dedicates 1 hour every day to writing with full attention, refusing to give in to distractions. The hour becomes sacred, a fortress of concentration. Over weeks, sentences turn into chapters, chapters turn into a manuscript. What once seemed overwhelming becomes manageable because discipline directs consistent action toward a clear purpose. Discipline is the engine that transforms vision into reality, one deliberate step at a time. Even in relationships, self-discipline plays a role. Consider someone who wants to build stronger connections with family or friends, but is tempted to prioritize work, entertainment, or laziness. Dedicating 1 hour a day to meaningful conversations, listening, or offering support strengthens bonds. The habit of consistency demonstrates care, reliability, and commitment. Over time, relationships flourish because discipline ensures that effort is regular, intentional, and focused. It is not the grand gestures, but the consistent, disciplined acts of attention that create lasting impact. The power of self-discipline is cumulative. It is not about perfection, it is about persistence. It is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about consistently choosing the path that leads to growth, even when it is uncomfortable. Every hour invested in discipline compounds like interest in a bank account. The first few days may feel difficult. The first few weeks may test your resolve, but the results multiply. Opportunities that seemed out of reach begin to appear. Confidence grows, habits form, character strengthens. 1 hour a day becomes the quiet force that shapes a life of achievement, influence, and purpose. Self-discipline is also the training ground for courage. Resisting immediate gratification requires strength, and strength comes from repeated practice. Imagine someone working toward a personal goal, whether writing a book, learning a skill, starting a business, or improving health. Every time they choose the hour of effort over the hour of comfort, they are exercising courage. They are proving to themselves that they are capable of persistence, capable of restraint, and capable of commitment. The mind learns to obey intention rather than impulse. With each act of disciplined action, the individual becomes stronger, more capable, and more confident in the pursuit of their purpose. Creativity is the heartbeat of progress, the invisible force that turns ordinary people into innovators, dreamers into leaders, and ideas into reality. Yet so many go through life trapped in routine, never giving their mind the space to imagine, to explore, or to invent. They believe creativity is only for artists, writers, or inventors. But the truth is, creativity is the birthright of everyone. It is the ability to see possibilities where others see problems, to find solutions where others see obstacles, and to imagine what does not yet exist and bring it into being. 1 hour a day dedicated to creativity can transform your life, because during that hour, you allow your mind to wander freely, to connect ideas, and to shape new visions for your future. Consider a teacher who has been struggling to engage her students. Every day feels repetitive, exhausting, and predictable. Then she decides to spend 1 hour each morning imagining new ways to teach, new games, new activities, new approaches. She sketches ideas, writes down lesson plans differently, explores teaching methods from around the world, and experiments mentally with concepts that never occurred to her before. Over time, her creativity flourishes, her classroom transforms, and her students begin to respond in ways she never thought possible. The 1 hour she invested daily in imagination not only changed her approach, but changed the lives of those she teaches. Creativity is not just an act, it is a ripple that affects everyone around you. Even in business, creativity is the difference between survival and success. Consider an entrepreneur struggling to grow a small company. Competition is fierce, the market is saturated, and obstacles appear daily. 1 hour each day is dedicated to thinking differently, reimagining products, exploring marketing strategies, and seeking solutions to persistent problems. That hour of focused imagination creates breakthroughs that others cannot see. A simple idea, when nurtured consistently, can disrupt markets, solve widespread problems, or launch a product that the world never knew it needed. Creativity is a tool that turns limitations into opportunities, scarcity into abundance, and ideas into influence. Creativity also requires solitude and focus. The mind is bombarded every day with noise, opinions, obligations, and distractions. If you never dedicate time to think for yourself, to let ideas flow without interruption, creativity remains dormant. Consider a writer trying to complete a novel. They must set aside 1 hour daily to sit with their thoughts, to explore characters, plot lines, and conflicts. During this time, the mind is free to wander with purpose. The writer experiments, fails, rewrites, and refines. In that hour, masterpieces are born, not from luck, but from deliberate, consistent engagement with the creative process. Every great creation starts in the quiet, focused space where imagination meets intention. Daily life examples reveal the power of creative thinking. Imagine a parent managing a household with limited resources. 1 hour a day is dedicated to creative problem solving, finding new ways to organize, new ways to save money, new ways to entertain and educate children. Over time, their home runs more smoothly. Their stress decreases and their family flourishes. Creativity is not reserved for grand inventions. It is present in every solution, every idea, and every approach that improves life. 1 hour of creative thought compounds into efficiency, innovation, and impact across all areas of existence. Even seemingly ordinary activities benefit from creativity. Imagine a cook trying to develop new recipes. They dedicate 1 hour each day to experimenting with flavors, techniques, and presentation. At first, many attempts fail, but the mind learns, adjusts, and discovers new combinations. What started as simple experimentation becomes culinary mastery. Creativity thrives in experimentation, in curiosity, and in the willingness to explore beyond comfort zones. Your ideas are like seeds. Without consistent nurturing, they never grow. That 1 hour a day waters the seed, stretches the mind, and allows the imagination to reach heights that ordinary thinking cannot achieve. Creativity also strengthens problem-solving skills. Life constantly presents challenges, personal, professional, social, and emotional. Someone who dedicates 1 hour daily to creative thought develops the ability to see multiple solutions, to anticipate consequences, and to innovate under pressure. Consider an engineer facing a design challenge. 1 hour of focused brainstorming, sketching, and thinking outside conventional rules may reveal solutions that conventional methods cannot. Creativity equips you with a mental toolkit that is flexible, adaptive, and unstoppable because it trains the mind to respond to obstacles with ingenuity rather than frustration. Even in relationships, creativity plays a role. Someone may dedicate an hour to imagining new ways to connect, communicate, and show appreciation for their loved ones. Over time, gestures, conversations, and experiences become richer, more meaningful, and impactful. Creativity strengthens emotional intelligence because it encourages empathy, insight, and original ways to engage with others. It turns ordinary interactions into memorable experiences, deepening bonds and inspiring trust, love, and connection. Creativity is also the engine of vision. Without imagination, plans remain static, goals remain distant, and dreams remain unrealized. Consider a young person with a vision of starting a community project. 1 hour daily spent imagining programs, visualizing impact, planning outreach, and thinking innovatively transforms a simple idea into a blueprint for action. The mind, exercised daily in creative thought, becomes a factory of solutions, a laboratory of possibilities, and a sanctuary of vision. The world cannot keep up with someone who dedicates an hour every day to creating, imagining, and innovating. 1 hour of creativity a day is not wasted time. It is the investment that multiplies ideas, ignites possibilities, and transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary stories. It is the hour when the mind becomes limitless, when imagination becomes actionable, and when solutions to the world's challenges are born. Creativity is the spark that ignites innovation, the engine that drives progress, and the gift that elevates human potential beyond the boundaries of circumstance. Relationships are the invisible threads that shape our lives, the connections that carry influence, and the currency that turns dreams into reality. Yet so many people treat relationships as secondary, as optional, or as something to maintain only when convenient. The truth is, the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Investing in the people who matter is not a luxury, it is a necessity. 1 hour a day dedicated to reaching out, listening, encouraging, mentoring, or simply being present can transform lives, not just theirs, but yours as well. Relationships are not just about receiving, they are about giving, nurturing, and creating impact that multiplies over time. Consider a parent raising children. The demands of life are endless: work, chores, responsibilities. But if they dedicate 1 focused hour each day to their children, truly listening to them, engaging with them, and encouraging them, the effect is profound. Children feel seen, valued, and loved. They develop confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose. That hour becomes a foundation upon which character is built, a bridge that connects hearts and strengthens trust. The parent learns as much as the child during this hour, gaining insight into patience, empathy, and the power of intentional presence. What seems like a small commitment becomes a lifetime of influence. Even in friendships, 1 hour a day can redefine connections. Consider someone who has friends scattered across cities, caught up in busy schedules. Picking up the phone, sending a message of encouragement, or making a short visit may seem minor, yet it strengthens bonds, reinforces trust, and communicates care. Relationships require maintenance, and like any valuable asset, they demand attention. Neglect leads to distance, misunderstandings, and lost opportunities. Focus and intentionality in spending even 1 hour daily nurturing friendships ensures they grow deeper and stronger. Influence multiplies when connections are genuine because people naturally align with those who care consistently. Mentorship is another area where an hour transforms lives. Think of a professional who invests time in guiding a younger colleague or someone new in their field. 1 hour of teaching, sharing experience, and offering advice provides direction that textbooks, courses, or formal training cannot replicate. The mentee gains knowledge, confidence, and insight but the mentor also grows. Teaching others clarifies your own understanding, refines your skills, and strengthens your leadership. Influence is created not by authority alone, but by consistent investment in others. An hour of genuine mentorship can set in motion a ripple effect that impacts careers, communities, and generations. Even casual interactions hold power when approached with intentionality. Imagine a co-worker who seems unnoticed, undervalued, or discouraged. Dedicating just 1 hour to check in, offer encouragement, or provide assistance can shift their outlook, boost their morale, and inspire action. The impact may not be immediate or visible, but it shapes behavior, fosters loyalty, and creates environments where cooperation and excellence thrive. Relationships are the channels through which influence flows, and investing time in others opens doors that money, status, or talent alone cannot open. Family dynamics also illustrate the importance of daily investment. Siblings, parents, or extended family members often drift apart due to business or neglect. Carving out 1 hour daily to connect, to understand, to resolve conflicts, or to celebrate achievements creates bonds that endure. A shared meal, a conversation, or simply sitting together without distraction sends the message you matter and I value you. Over time, these moments accumulate into trust, mutual respect, and lasting influence that becomes the backbone of family strength and stability. Relationships are also critical in the pursuit of professional goals. Business leaders who dedicate time to their teams, listening, encouraging, mentoring, and recognizing contributions cultivate loyalty, motivation, and engagement. Imagine a manager spending an hour each day connecting individually with team members. They learn strengths, identify challenges, and inspire growth. The team performs at higher levels, turnover decreases, and collective energy aligns toward shared goals. Influence is built on genuine connection, and 1 hour daily ensures relationships do not wither under the pressure of deadlines, competition, or routine. Even strangers can be touched by a small, consistent investment of time. Reaching out to someone struggling, offering advice, or simply listening can change the trajectory of their life. Consider the person who dedicates 1 hour each day to volunteering, tutoring, or supporting community members. The impact multiplies not just for the recipients, but for the giver. Generosity of time, attention, and presence cultivates empathy, wisdom, and influence. The world begins to shift for the better, one connection at a time, because every relationship is an opportunity to create positive change. Relationships are the vessels through which ideas become reality. A single hour can inspire, teach comfort, or challenge someone to reach beyond their limitations. It can ignite passion, fuel ambition, and instill courage. The 1 hour invested may seem small, but its ripple effects are monumental. Influence is not about grand gestures, it is about consistent intentional presence. The person who masters this understands that their life is intertwined with others, that each interaction carries weight, and that by nurturing relationships, they not only elevate others, they elevate themselves. Relationships are a form of currency, and investing time in them ensures returns that multiply exponentially over a lifetime. Imagine a community leader who dedicates 1 hour each day to visiting, listening, and mentoring residents. The community begins to thrive. Projects succeed, conflicts resolve, and hope spreads. Influence grows because relationships are nurtured. Imagine a teacher, a coach, a parent, a friend, or a professional adopting the same principle. 1 hour of focused investment in the people around you has the power to change lives, shift perspectives, and elevate possibilities. The relationships you nurture become a network of strength, a web of influence, and a platform for impact. The hour you dedicate to others today multiplies into opportunities, growth, and transformation far beyond what you can measure. Reflection and gratitude are among the most powerful yet overlooked practices in life. The world pushes us to move fast, to achieve more, to chase bigger dreams, and yet it rarely stops to ask us if we understand what we have experienced, what we have learned, and what we should be thankful for. Without reflection, life becomes a series of actions without purpose, events without meaning, and achievements without direction. Reflection is the mirror of the soul, the pause that allows you to examine your journey, to see clearly where you have excelled, where you have faltered, and where you must grow. When combined with gratitude, it transforms ordinary life into extraordinary wisdom, grounding you in humility, clarity, and strength. Dedicating just 1 hour a day to reflect and to practice gratitude creates a feedback loop of growth that shapes character, decisions, and destiny. Consider a young professional who is climbing the corporate ladder. Every day is filled with meetings, deadlines, reports, and responsibilities. It is easy to get lost in the rush, to overlook lessons hidden in challenges, and to forget to acknowledge accomplishments. If that professional dedicates 1 hour each evening to reflect on the day, they pause to ask themselves questions. What did I do well? Where did I fall short? What can I do differently tomorrow? This hour becomes a laboratory of the mind, a space where successes are celebrated, mistakes are dissected, and strategies for improvement are developed. Reflection transforms ordinary experiences into lessons that build competence, resilience, and wisdom. Gratitude, when intertwined with reflection, deepens the impact. Consider the same professional taking a few moments to recognize not only what they have achieved, but who has supported them along the way. Perhaps a colleague offered guidance, a friend provided encouragement, or a family member showed patience during a stressful week. Acknowledging these contributions reinforces relationships and cultivates humility. Gratitude shifts perspective from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to appreciation, and from entitlement to responsibility. The simple act of being thankful transforms the mind, the heart, and the energy with which one approaches life. Even in daily life, reflection and gratitude provide clarity. Imagine a parent juggling work, household responsibilities, and raising children. Each day is filled with challenges, interruptions, and frustrations. Dedicating 1 hour to reflect on the interactions of the day, the patience displayed, the lessons learned, and the moments of joy allows them to see their growth and identify areas for improvement. They may recognize a moment when they responded with anger instead of patience, or a moment when they nurtured and encouraged. Reflection turns ordinary parenting moments into intentional acts of character development, while gratitude reminds them of the privilege of guiding young lives. Over time, this practice strengthens relationships, deepens self-awareness, and reinforces a sense of purpose. Reflection is also a tool for overcoming failure. Failure is inevitable in life, yet without reflection, it becomes discouraging, disempowering, and repetitive. Consider an entrepreneur who experiences setbacks, loses a client, or misses a deadline. Taking an hour to reflect, to analyze what went wrong, and to ask hard questions transforms failure into wisdom. What decisions led to the outcome? What could be done differently? Reflection turns each failure into a stepping stone, a lesson learned, and a strategy for improvement. Combined with gratitude for the opportunity to try, for the support received, and for the knowledge gained, failure ceases to be a threat and becomes a teacher. Even small victories deserve reflection and gratitude. Imagine a student who mastered a challenging topic after days of study. Taking a moment to reflect on the process, what strategies worked, what perseverance was required, and expressing gratitude for the support of teachers, peers, or personal determination strengthens confidence and reinforces positive habits. Celebrating small wins is not vanity, it is the acknowledgement that progress matters. It builds momentum, reinforces effort, and inspires persistence. Reflection and gratitude ensure that success is internalized and lessons are integrated rather than fleeting or superficial. Consider daily interactions as opportunities for reflection and gratitude. Perhaps someone had a disagreement, faced criticism, or encountered a stressful situation. Reflecting on personal responses allows them to understand triggers, evaluate reactions, and plan for improvement. Gratitude, even for the challenge itself, cultivates resilience and humility. It transforms difficult experiences into learning opportunities and equips the mind to navigate future challenges with composure and insight. Over time, the practice of daily reflection and gratitude develops emotional intelligence, clarity of thought, and wisdom beyond years. Reflection and gratitude also guide long-term vision. Someone who dedicates 1 hour daily to evaluate progress toward goals, to consider alignment with values, and to recognize blessings, gains perspective on what truly matters. They learn to prioritize effectively, make decisions that honor purpose, and maintain focus despite distractions. Reflection turns experience into insight, and insight into strategy. Gratitude transforms ambition into fulfillment and ensures that success is measured not only by outcomes but by character, relationships, and contribution. Even the simplest life can be profoundly enriched by reflection and gratitude. Imagine a retiree taking an hour each day to recall lessons from a lifetime, to acknowledge the people who shaped their journey, to give thanks for health, love, and opportunities, and to consider how their experiences can benefit others. The hour becomes a sanctuary of clarity, wisdom, and perspective. It reminds them that every life, no matter how ordinary it seems, contains lessons worth learning, memories worth honoring, and opportunities for continued growth and impact. 1 hour a day of reflection and gratitude is not a pause in productivity. It is the engine that powers clarity, wisdom, and purpose. It turns experiences into understanding, challenges into lessons, victories into inspiration, and relationships into deeper bonds. It is the habit that anchors the mind, strengthens the heart, and elevates the spirit, preparing every individual to face tomorrow with insight, humility, and unwavering confidence. So now, my friends, as we stand at the crossroads of choice, I want you to truly hear this. The life you dream of, the legacy you desire, the impact you wish to leave on this world, all of it begins with one decision, one action, 1 hour. Every remarkable life, every story that inspires generations started with someone saying yes to themselves, yes to discipline, yes to growth, yes to purpose. The hour you have today is not ordinary, it is sacred. It is the seed from which greatness grows. The hour you invest in learning, in health, in focus, in discipline, in creativity, in relationships, and in reflection is the hour that whispers to the universe, I am ready. Think of every legend you admire, every individual who reshaped the world. The scientists, the leaders, the thinkers, the visionaries. They were ordinary people who understood that time is the most valuable currency. They were not gifted with more hours than you, nor did they have more luck. What they had was commitment. What they had was the courage to invest 1 hour a day consistently in the pursuit of their purpose. Your hour, just like theirs, holds the power to change your story. It does not matter if the world doubts you, if circumstances are harsh, or if obstacles appear. 1 hour of unwavering effort, 1 hour of intentional action, 1 hour of focused energy, and suddenly the impossible becomes possible, the unseen becomes visible, and the dreams buried in your heart begin to breathe life. Imagine the ripple effect of that hour. 1 hour dedicated to learning expands your mind, opens doors, and creates opportunities that multiply like compounding interest. 1 hour dedicated to health transforms your energy, your confidence, and your ability to pursue every goal without limitation. 1 hour of focus magnifies your productivity, sharpens your mind, and allows you to achieve in a day what others struggle to do in weeks. 1 hour of self-discipline builds character, resilience, and inner strength that no storm can destroy. 1 hour of creativity turns ideas into innovation, visions into action, and problems into solutions that change the world around you. 1 hour nurturing relationships strengthens bonds, inspires loyalty, and creates networks of influence that lift you higher than you could ever go alone. 1 hour of reflection and gratitude anchors your soul, clarifies your direction, and reminds you of how far you have come, empowering you to step boldly into the future. Each hour compounds into momentum, and momentum is the force that carries you from dreams into reality. Look at your life and ask yourself, where have you been giving your hours away to trivial distractions? Where have you allowed time to slip through your fingers, leaving you frustrated, stuck, or unfulfilled? Now imagine reclaiming that time 1 hour at a time and dedicating it with intention, with purpose, with relentless commitment. It will feel uncomfortable at first because greatness is never comfortable. It will demand sacrifice, it will demand patience, it will demand faith in the unseen and trust in your ability to endure. But remember this, discomfort is temporary. Regret is permanent. The hour you invest today shields you from the weight of regret tomorrow. The small, consistent actions you take now create a life that inspires, a life that leads, and a life that fulfills the very reason you were born. So I ask you again, what will your hour be worth? Will it be spent drifting, wandering, and waiting for luck to find you? Or will it be spent building, creating, and claiming the future you know you deserve? Remember, history does not celebrate intention alone, it honors execution. It does not remember those who waited for perfect conditions, it remembers those who acted despite uncertainty. It does not exalt those who dreamed quietly. It exalts those who turned dreams into reality through consistent action. Your hour is your proving ground. It is the laboratory where your potential is tested and your destiny is forged. Every giant leap begins with a single step, and every step begins with the hour you refuse to waste. Consider this your invitation, your challenge, and your declaration. Begin today. Begin now. Take your hour and guard it, respect it, and pour yourself into it fully. Let it become your ritual of transformation. Let it become the anchor of your purpose. Let it become the engine of your success. Because 1 hour invested with intention and passion has the power to unlock doors you thought were sealed, to reveal talents you thought were hidden, and to open paths you thought were impossible to traverse. It is the hour that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the hesitant from the courageous, the dreamers from the doers. And as you step forward, remember the words of those who have walked before you. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And what you do today can improve all your tomorrows. Your hour is your step, your effort, your action. It is the investment in yourself that compounds beyond imagination. Do not underestimate it. Do not delay it. Embrace it. Honor it. Because in that hour lies your transformation, your influence, your greatness, and your life fully realized. The hour is yours. The choice is yours. The future is yours. Will you seize it, guard it, and use it to build a legacy that endures long after moments fade? Will you take your hour and with faith, courage, and relentless commitment, turn it into the foundation of everything you have ever dreamed of? Every master, every leader, every person you admire started with an hour, a decision, a commitment to themselves and to the vision that burned in their heart. Your hour is no different. Invest it wisely, act boldly, and the life that once seemed distant will become your reality, because greatness does not happen by chance. It happens by choice, by action, by the disciplined, focused, and inspired use of every moment that you are given